And we're back with another Sons of the Forest gameplay trailer reaction, review, analysis, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what we're going to be getting into. The first trailer that we watched on my previous video, if you want to go check that out for the reveal trailer, there wasn't a whole lot to analyze there. It was more of just a setup and a tease for the premise of there is going to be a sequel. It's going to be a bit different to the first game, but not a whole lot was shown off. This is the gameplay trailer, so hopefully we're going to see a bit more gameplay. It's only a minute and a half long, so I can't imagine it being a sort of extended clip of gameplay. It'll probably be some sort of montage, I guess, bits here and there, which is what these gameplay trailers like to do, even though they call them gameplay trailers. But I trust Endnight. They're doing a great job so far. If you guys know any other projects by Endnight that you think are worth checking out that they've released, please let me know. I'd love to play more of their games. I love The Forest. I want to support them. So let me know. We'll watch it through first. I'll react and then we'll go through and I guess break it down, see what there is to take apart, because I find that it's easier. I don't personally, when I'm watching reaction videos, I want a bit of both. I don't like it when people just pause every single second their first playthrough, because you don't experience the trailer for the way it was meant to be experienced. When you're pausing every second, you need to experience it in one long go. So that's how we're going to do it on this channel, and then we'll go back through and review it bit by bit. Sons of the Forest official gameplay trailer. Right, so we've already seen the helicopter crash, although that looks different, so that's another stage of the clip. Wow, this looks so good. This, like, graphically. So I believe they're running this on the new Unity engine, and this is obviously a new. Wow, the weather effects look incredible. Whoa! Look at that. What is that? Ooh, some sort of bunker? I love the music, by the way. I just want to say this right. I love the music. It's very 80s, actually, in its style. I love those synths. This is good. This is very, very good. Ugh. Oh, what? Oh, 2021. Okay, yeah, it's definitely coming out this year. Also noticed that the font now has changed to a red color, whereas originally, well, the Forest font was yellow, and the original trailer the font was yellow, but now it's red. Which I know is probably the last thing you wanted me to analyze about this trailer, but there you go. That's something to pick up on. All right, let's go back to the beginning. There was a lot to unpack there. That, for a 1.5 minute trailer, there was a lot they packed in, and a good mix, I think, as well, with some more cinematic aspects, but also mixing in some key bits of gameplay, sort of clips that show a lot by just showing a little. This was a very good trailer. So there's the same guy that we see from the first trailer. He's back, unless it's just a way to generically give us characters with co-op. Yeah, so Unity engine looking good. The windows look a little bit funky, but you know, you're not going to be pausing this frame in games. This shot, man, that is a power shot. They knew that they were going to start this trailer with this shot to be like, look how far this engine has come, look how far the graphics of a game have come. This looks beautiful. The foliage density, the way that the leaves are reacting to light, the way that they integrated foliage into the first game, and the way that the subsurface scattering through the trees and the leaves and the bushes worked, gave a really, really nice effect. But you could tell it was slightly, I mean, I can tell now playing it on the PS5, but the PS4 version, it is becoming slightly dated. But this looks incredible. This looks like one of those pictures you would see of like a final render of some sort of in-game screenshot that was way too hard to replicate, but I can see that this being a real gameplay. And yeah, in terms of the map, this is what is interesting to me. Are we on the same island? Or are we somewhere else completely that just happens to be of a similar design? Because if you remember from the first game, there was very much the green forest area with your lakes and water and whatnot. And then off in the distance was this big snowy mountain. Now, is this the same island that these soldiers have gone back to? Or are we somewhere completely different, just so happens to be a similar setting? I don't know. Because the trees look very similar as well. The bushes, everything. Who knows? Who knows? Or is this the Lost World Jurassic Park situation where, you know, Site B? Is this another island? I don't know. But I mean, obviously a key thing to note here is a GPS, which is something that was missing from the first game. And generally what I noticed in this trailer, there's a lot more technology. Because obviously you can't just make the second game with just nicer graphics. As good as that would be, I would take that easily, but there needs to be some sort of additions to the gameplay without breaking it too far. And this is always the problem with creating a sequel, is how do you add enough that it's different but without changing the core of the game? And what I've seen so far, it seems interesting. It's like the first game was very limited in terms of the technology, which I think worked in terms of the context of the story, but also in just setting up the world and setting up the mechanics for that game. And this, it makes sense, the character you're playing here, to have a bit more technology involved and also push the gameplay a little bit further in terms of what's possible. Now, something that caught my eye here, two things really. Three things really, actually, if you want to go that far. Firstly, okay, I don't know where to start. Firstly, the tree, the way it's being cut apart. As far as I'm aware of the new Unity engine, there's a lot more you can do in terms of particles and procedurally destroying elements. And it looks like this tree is pretty much chopping apart pretty procedurally. Like you can see all the individual chunks coming off. I feel like they've probably got a system in place with the tree so that it really does chop away in the way you're cutting it down. It's not just preset chunks that are cut out, which is really, really cool. The second thing I noticed is obviously it's snowing. We're in a snowy area. Now obviously there is a snowy section of the original game, but I don't know if this is going to be a more prominent section of Sons of the Forest. The third thing was the snow falling off the trees, which is a small detail, but I liked. See here, it's this character is building their base in the snow, almost like their first base, which the snowy area in the first game, as far as I'm aware, because I haven't got too far into it, is where you want to push towards later on, whereas this seems like the beginning base. There's also snow deformation here, which I don't know, that would be cool if actually you can almost track where you've been by following your footsteps in the snow and it lasts for a persistent amount of time. That would be a really, really cool detail and something I could imagine Endnight putting in this game. Now, your cabin, your log holder, your fence, everything is pretty similar to what we have in the first game. One thing I picked up on as well, though, was, and again, following up on that technology advancements I was talking about, solar panels. You guys see that? Solar panels there, which is really interesting. Also notice wifey over here. She's out here in the cold. I don't know why she's out there. Now, is she a real character? Is she a vision? Is she some sort of apparition? We don't know. We don't know yet. We only have these few trailers, and I imagine that this is part of the mystery. And it's something I loved about the first game as well, was nothing was... You weren't told anything specifically. You had to go and figure all of this out on your own. You had to see it for yourself, discover it, piece together. And that's what I loved about the way that story was told, the way the horror elements came into it. I hope that they continue with it here. And she looks like she's cold. So do you have to look after her? Is there a way to play this game without her? That you just purely survive with your friends like the first game? Because I wonder if, just thinking if she'll become a burden in terms of gameplay. Does she show up all the time? Is this a purely single player focus? It's interesting. Another thing to pick up on as well is notice how the log is much further back. In the first game, when you're holding a log, it's like there, it's like taking up that much of the screen. But in Sons of the Forest, it just seems like they pushed it back a bit so that you have a bit more field of view, which is a quality of life thing that I appreciate. And to see what I was saying about the amount of detail that's in this trailer, considering it's not very long, we're only on 25 seconds, there's so much to break apart. Here is Wifey by a river, which has a proper flowing waterfall, which is really cool. You'll notice there's some salmon, I guess is what they would be, jumping in the water there, which is cool. Just a nice little detail. Salmon, I guess, connotes a bear. I imagine we'll probably see, hopefully, some more wildlife in this game, because we had, obviously, deer, and there were some lizards, and there were other animals, obviously, in the forest one, but there weren't any animals that really caused a lot of threat to you. So I wonder if there'll be predators in this game that could be quite interesting, like bears, for example, if they can roam around as well as the humanoid enemies. That'd be interesting. Here we have the crossbow, which is a weapon I know is in the forest one. I haven't found it yet, but I know it exists. So again, are you going to start off a bit more kitted in the first one? Or is this just showing you that the crossbow does exist as well? My man over here is wearing some sort of glowing mask. Can you see that? I don't know if it's necessarily glowing or if it's just the light, the moonlight is making it appear like it's glowing, but mask seems like a big thing in this game, because this guy's wearing a mask. There's a guy later on who's wearing the gold mask, and then obviously we see our own character wears a mask as well. So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of tribal system involved, which could be quite interesting. Obviously big change here, pistol. There were no firearms in the first game. Well, again, I know that there's a flintlock pistol, but there were no proper firearms. This again seems like they're pushing it a bit further. There was a shotgun in the first trailer for this game too, but I imagine it will be something similar to what's it get? I mean, not Resident Evil, because you do end up getting tons of ammo in that game or those games, but I imagine it will be much more focused on managing your bullets. You know, you only have 7 or 8 bullets ever at a time, like max, and you have to be really careful with how you use them. I don't see them turning this into a shooter. I don't see how they could. It would ruin it. It would definitely ruin it, but this implies, again, just more resource management, making sure that if you've got bullets, are you going to utilize them? When are you going to utilize them? Are you going to save them for a bigger enemy or use them for an easy kill? I imagine that's going to be the route they're going to go down. I mean, you shoot this guy here. Another thing's where you shoot one guy. Yeah, like his head goes. Okay, there's a woman here as well, which is interesting because she does not look like the soldier guy who was with us in the first trailer and who's on the helicopter when we crashed at the beginning of this. So I don't know. I mean, our guy's not even dressed like a soldier either, so I don't know how this is all playing together, but it seems like there's a lot more depth to this. Is that a co-op NPC character? Is that a co-op player, or is that an NPC character we're with? Is that the woman? Is that ballerina wifey? Now notice here, we've shot this guy's friend. This guy's on the floor crawling backwards and away. Now in the first game, there was an element of... I did feel like the AI was very good in the first game. Obviously it fell apart in some ways, as all AI does in some degree, and there is a sense of predictability to it, but I do hope that they're pushing forwards with this. And yeah, if they can become scared of you, if they can actually learn about you, because this is what I was hoping the first game would lean more into and didn't, which not necessarily disappointing, but something I thought would be cool, my friends thought would be cool, was when you're playing is, do they find you? Like, is there a genuine sense of the enemies will find you on the map, know where you are, learn more about you and how you're behaving as time goes on? Will they change their tactics? Will they find ways to attack you? Will they learn more about how you represent yourself over time? It's interesting. They could do a lot with this, and I hope they do. Like here, they're learning to fear the guns, so similar to Alien Isolation, I guess. If you use the flamethrower too many times on the alien, it will learn to stand back. It won't come dashing at you. It will find ways around to sneak up on you in these instances. So is there that sort of level of artificial intelligence coming in here? Shot, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This just showing off the engine again. That ground texture is amazing. The water effects are incredible, and the way that this is breaking apart, super realistic. I wonder exactly what the purpose of this is gameplay wise, because you have to dig a hole, an entire hole like this could be tedious. I don't know, but it looks great. I feel like this is leaning more into the story side of it, some sort of underground bunker. So this is leading me to think that this isn't the same island, because we would have found this on the first island. So is this a second island? Is this a second piece of land? Now, on that TV screen, it says, "You make me feel like going crazy. Dance on, break, dance on, break." Which is not a message necessarily. It looks like lyrics to a song. The 80s theme is very strong here. There's a chessboard. There seems to be some sort of weapons rack over here. Some sort of kitchen. Either way, this is very creepy, and I feel like this is showing a bit more of the story side, but it's super cool. A little toy down here, not sure the relevance of that, but here's the 3D printer, which I feel like is a really interesting way that they can naturally implement some more complex designs, because obviously in the Forest 1 you're limited to the resources on the island, the natural elements, the wood, the sticks, the rocks, everything that was more natural. Whereas this, with the 3D printer, I wonder if there's a way to, I mean, this guy's already printed a mask off. I wonder what more you could do in terms of what you can create with the 3D printer. It opens up a whole lot of opportunities. Just again, the animation's massively improved. There's just a lot more tactileness to what you're doing. There was already a lot of it in the first game anyway in terms of animations, but this is just that next level of looking really cool. It also looks like you're not tied into the structure you built, in terms of, you know, in the Forest 1, it could be quite annoying where you build a wall and then you end up being like, actually I want a door here now, or on a window. To do that, you'd have to demolish the entire wall, lose all of your resources, and then build it again, which could be a bit of a pain. I hope here there's a way to cut into things you already built, which should be a really cool way of doing it, and you could just focus on building the perimeter first, building the core structure, and then deciding where you want to put windows and doors. I feel like that'd be a much more, just a much better way of approaching it, really. Graphically, again, looks incredible. It looks like these guys are able to potentially break down doors now, because as far as I'm aware, in the Forest 1, the version I'm playing with my friends, we have turned base destruction off because it's just too much to manage whilst we're getting used to the game. It's a bit of a hassle, so we've just turned it off. But it does mean that I wish there was an in-between. You know, I wish there was a way that enemies could break through the doors that you make, because the locks have no relevance as far as I'm aware in the first game on the doors. The enemies can walk through them, but if they don't decide to walk through them, they'll sometimes accidentally come through them if you go through them and they're following you. But if I leave a door unlocked, I find that the enemies don't go, oh, there's a door, I'm going to go through it and come in and find them. So it's either you turn base destruction on and they demolish everything, or you turn base destruction off and once you're inside, you're completely safe. I wish there was an in-between. So maybe in this one there are more options for the rules, because I love that flexibility in the first one, how you can tweak everything. Well, not everything, you tweak a lot. So hopefully there's a way to do, like, you know, like I can break down doors but not necessarily destroy the whole wall. That'd be a really interesting way. That'd be how I would play it. And these guys are taking more time to demolish the walls. Yeah, this one's dragging the log away, which is cool. I don't know if this guy's chopped the tree down turned around to drop another one down, and then when he's turned back, this guy's taking the tree trunk away. That's quite cool. Graphically, again, beautiful, and you have a shotgun, so very interesting. There was an animal actually in the background there, which I'm not sure what that was. Maybe it was a wolf. Oops, sorry, I accidentally full screened it. This is what makes me think about the theory of having a tribe. Because this character in the original game, pretty much everything got, you know, all of the enemies that you face, the humanoid enemies, were on the same team. This big old dude looks like he's just killed little matey over here. He's wearing a gold mask. I wonder if there is some sort of faction element involved, because he also looks, he's got sort of gold drip on. I don't know, it's so interesting. I really wonder what they're doing with it. See, yeah, look, this guy's covered in what looks like flesh, but also a gold mask. Or is he just some sort of leader that's just not taking any shit from this guy? Like, I don't know. But you could wear a mask as well, which I guess protects you, which is quite interesting. Similar to how I guess in The Walking Dead they put the zombie flesh on them and it protects them from the zombies. Is there a way to do this to properly blend in, you know, so enemies don't attack you? That could be a cool idea. Now, this is something as well I wanted to pick up on. The leaves are falling here. There's a sort of autumnal feel. Is there going to be seasons? Are there going to be... are we seeing... If we go back here, are we seeing this place? Could this place exist in the winter, in the snow, and in the autumnal version, and in spring, and in summer, in the more just sunnier, grassier air? Because that'd be very interesting. This trailer doesn't have a whole lot more except for these guys who are just horrendous. Also notice there's these sort of twins, Siamese twins down here, conjoined at the hip, which is also terrifying. But this thing... So, okay, right. Theory. Oh, it was in the other trailer. In the first trailer, the guy gets grabbed by this massive hand-looking thing and dragged away. And this thing is made of fingers, so... I don't know, maybe there's a big old boy. And also I feel like they wouldn't reveal the big bad guy, like all of their main enemy types in the trailers. They'd leave a lot to be discovered. So I feel like we haven't seen a lot yet. This is terrifying. It's the stuff from Nightmares. And then Sons of the Forest. Well, there we go. A lot to break down in that trailer. I enjoyed the trailer. I think it was a fantastic trailer. As trailers go. Can I say trailer again? I'm going to say trailer once more, because why not? Sons of the Forest. And then we get a 2021 release date. Nothing more than that. It just says 2021. But it is 2021 now. Which means we might get some information soon. Obviously, with the state of the world. Putting out a release date, Cyberpunk, is not a good idea if there's any uncertainty involved with getting it done on time, especially with the restrictions and limitations that developers are facing right now. Completely understandable to not put a solid date on it until it's absolutely confirmed to be. I'm probably imagining that it might have been ready for release earlier in this year and they've had to push it back slightly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see this until October time, November time. Halloween, spooky month this year. I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be a shame because obviously I want to play this game soon. I think it looks really, really great. I'm loving the first one. But, you know, devs, take your time. Get it out when it's ready. Don't rush it. It's already looking incredible. I'm so excited to play it. I just want to play more of The Forest. And this looks like an upgrade graphically, an upgrade mechanically. Story-wise, very, very interesting. I'm already intrigued with what they're doing. I couldn't piece together what's happening at all. I don't know who these characters are. I don't know how the cult works. I don't know how the NPCs are going to play into it. I don't know who you are, where you are, what the enemies are doing, how this relates to the first game. There's so much. It's very exciting. I haven't been this interested in a game for a while in a way that's, you know, something like, for example, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm excited for, but I know pretty much what to expect, which is why I'm excited for it. This game, I'm excited because of what I don't know, and that is a really cool thing about games that you can capture, and this game has captured that for me. So I'm very excited. Keep it up, Endnight. This is extremely cool what you're doing. Second trailer, we've only had basically 3 minutes worth of content shown, and I'm hooked. I can't wait to see more, learn more, or not learn more, because part of the fun is going in blind, right, to this type of game. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, if you like The Forest and want to stay up to date with more The Forest content, please do subscribe to this channel. I will be covering this game more in the future. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you know more information about Sons of the Forest that you want to share, post it in the comments below. I'd love to learn more, and I can't wait to experience this game, delve more into it with you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.